Comics Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain a comic called Irresistible. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. One night, Alan Keeg, an average American guy, was dragged into a nightclub by his two friends. After his breakup with his girlfriend Leigh, they convinced him to join them because he was lonely and depressed. Both of his friends are ecstatic about the club's dancers, but Alan is stuck in a cycle of sadness and self-pity, seeing the performers as ordinary people doing what they have to do to make a living. One dancer named Snow catches Alan's attention as her outfit reminds him of Emma Frost from the X-Men series, which Snow fawns over. She shared her enthusiasm for comics, which Alan initially doubted, and seemed genuinely interested in them. However, as Alan begins to reciprocate the interest, Snow offers a dance and immediately breaks Alan's desire. Regardless, he attempts to participate in the roleplay because Snow is most likely good at her job. He tries to return to the dreamlike state of believing they had a genuine rapport. But after Snow's manipulation, her reminder of how much her time would cost him brings Alan back to the reality that no woman will like him. Alan, who is currently imprisoned, claims that it's a story from the past and that everything changed when he met an elderly lady. That same night in the club, Alan makes his way out while grabbing several shots. The illusion of Snow's performance thoroughly shattered. He leaves with the intention of drinking his sorrows away, but he comes across a mugging in an alley. Alan comes upon three burly-looking men who appears to have beaten an elderly woman in order to steal her purse. He tries to calm them all down by asking them to leave her alone because they have what they want, but they still beat him up. Alan awakes an hour later to discover the elderly woman alone. He inquires about her condition, afraid that she has been hurt, but she informs him that she is well, except that she has been a little shaken. The lady, who introduces herself as Delilah, thanks him and says that most people would not stop to aid someone like her, so she offers to repay his kindness with whatever he wants. Alan, who was very drunk and still lamenting, responded by saying that she couldn't possibly provide him with what he wanted. Nonetheless, she begs him to tell her anyway, so he confesses that all he wants is for women to want him, to feel wanted again, and to not feel so alone. He sighs as he walks towards his apartment. After a few minutes, he calls Leigh, sitting with the expression of a man who is aware of his suffering yet longs to be with her again. He quickly hangs up the phone apologizing. It's then revealed that Delilah was watching him from the fire escape. She transforms into her true form as she watches Alan fall asleep on the couch, promising him the world will be a new place the next day. Alan gets up late and heads to work, but on his way to grab coffee, he observes several women staring at him. At the cafe, the barista appears taken aback by his arrival, but Alan is unaware of this. He pays for his order and goes to the restroom, but as he walks away, he realizes that the barista had followed him to make out. 15 minutes later, a stunned Alan is left staring as the barista leaves him, unable to believe what has just happened. On the same day, Alan and his two buddies just finished a meal at a restaurant. They talk about an attractive woman they saw. The two friends continue to talk about ladies and how physically desirable they are, but Alan is more distracted by the waitress. As they prepare to return to the nightclub, Alan excuses himself, claiming that he had work to finish at home, and jokes that he would have his hands full all night as he looks across at two waitresses. Alan and the two women engage in intimate activities at his apartment that night, and despite his confusion about what's going on in his life, he continues to live in the moment. Following their action, he initially avoids calling Leigh, but eventually succumbs. She picks up the phone, irritated that he was calling her despite having been told to not call her for the past year and a half. Alan makes no excuses, merely stating that he misses talking to her. She agrees and admits that she misses talking to him sometimes, but she swiftly squashes any further implications and begs Alan to move on and stop calling her. She asks him to respect her boundaries, as she has in the past, but Alan ignores her request. He goes over his old spiel again, saying that if she could just give him a chance to see how much he's changed, how he's different and not the guy he used to be, she'd change her mind. Leigh hangs up the phone abruptly. Her concerned boyfriend approaches her, but she tells him that everything is alright. Meanwhile, Alan is angry because he was disconnected. One of the lady awakens, and while she offers herself for another round, his self-righteous fury persists. It continues as he engages in intimate acts with her again, entirely imagining Leigh in the place of the waitress. He goes to her house, shamelessly following her every move, and calls her while looking through her window. She picks up the phone, and while she is initially upset, he quickly tells her that he called to tell her that he had met someone and was doing well again. Leigh eventually expresses genuine joy for him, noting that he deserves to find someone who enjoys being with him. He describes the woman he's with in response to her question. Unbeknownst to her, he recounts Lay's appearance as he continues to watch her through the window. His lies are cut short when Lay's current partner appears on the couch with her, so Alan decides to hang up and goes away from the house. As he walks through the rain, he thinks about the happy times he used to have with her. He's baffled as to how someone else could make her happy. He laments the fact that someone else get to come home to her. But before he can say it wasn't the same for him, he opens his apartment door to see Veronica, the barista with whom he had an intimate moment a long time ago. Veronica stands in his dining room, claiming to have come to make him dinner. When he questions how she got into his apartment, she nonchalantly tells him that he lied to his boss about her being his out-of-town fiancé who wants to surprise him on their anniversary. But when Alan's sadness turns into irritation, he dismisses Veronica stalking and obsessing over him. He excuses himself to change his clothing, but while Veronica is apologizing, she notices Alan's picture with Lay. He tries to tell her he has to rest after changing clothes, but she is crying. She claims that all she wanted was to make him happy, but it appears that it was too much to ask. She had spent the entire day preparing a meal for them, but he couldn't even sit down to eat it. Alan proceeds to inform her that he never asked for meals or for her to find his apartment. He clarifies that they were not together and accuses her of being insane before asking her to leave. Veronica shows him the image she found and asks if Lay was the reason they weren't together. Before he can respond, she smashes the picture frame and slices her arm with a glass shard, feeling that this is the only way to draw his attention. He tries to stop her, but Veronica believes that he is only concerned now because she is inflicting harm on herself. She pushes back, slicing her hand, as if to remind him that no matter what she did, she would never be enough. Alan could only beg her to stop in shock, but Veronica continues to cut herself as she asks him if this is what he wanted. She begs that all she wanted was to make him happy and for him to love her. She faints with one last cry, and Alan catches her and calls an ambulance. But when Veronica bleeds on the kitchen floor, Alan realizes only one thing. His life changed neither for the better nor for the worse. It had been transformed into a full-fledged nightmare. Alan is probed by the police, and he tells them everything he knows about the curse as truthfully as he can. They don't believe him, but when the male cop leaves him in the company of the female officer, she takes advantage of him. Alan realizes it's no longer a game and tries to solve the situation. He understands he needs a new perspective, but he can't even tell it to his friends, so he turns to Lay. At her house, Alan pays another visit to Lay, but this time he forgets why he came there and is furious that his curse isn't affecting her. Lay wants to go because she's uncomfortable, but he grabs her wrist and tries to persuade her that he still loves her and she still loves him deep down. Lay begs him to leave her alone, but he only cares about her coming back to him. Suddenly, a beer bottle slams into Lay's door out of nowhere. It was thrown from the street by one of the waitresses he had hooked up with. Lay is confused by the drama, but fortunately, Alan promises not to bother her again and leaves. The waitress playfully apologizes for her actions, but Alan dismisses her and stomps away. Trying to get over the fact that his gift was having no effect on Lay, he invites his buddies to the nightclub, intending to have a good time. It rapidly backfires with nearby dancers fighting for his attention. As he goes out of the club, he notices a theatrical banner that informs him that the three big men from the previous night were actors. He talks to them and discovers that they were hired with gold coins to stage the mugging. He locates the elderly lady's home with the assistance of the female detective from his interrogation, whom he compensates with intimate favors. The old woman greets him, fully expecting his arrival. She expresses her gratitude for finding someone as selfless as himself to assist her that night, while thousands did not. Alan, on the other hand, wastes no time in demanding that she undo what she did to him, or else he will make her. Delilah is disappointed, thinking that she was wrong all along, that Alan was the same as she was when she was Delilah of Sorek, Samson's wife and betrayer, the blessed man with infinite strength. She claims that an angel cursed her to live eternally and carry the guilt of betraying Samson. Alan doesn't believe a word she says, which she already knew, so she takes on her true form. She goes on to explain her life story and how she saw the Good Samaritan, as well as how she had dedicated her recent life to meeting the desires of the selfless. Alan, confused, wonders as to why his gift is getting worse. Delilah explains that the spell would have begun slowly at first, but as his wants were no longer met by its enchantment, the power of the spell grew in an attempt to provide what he craved. It wasn't working with Lay because he wished to be desired rather than loved. Delilah eventually concedes after he asks how to get rid of it. She hands him a dagger and informs him that the only way to break the curse is for him to spill the blood of his one true love. The curse can only be undone by surrendering the one he desires more than anything else in the world. Alan denies that he would hurt Leigh no matter how bad things went, but Delilah warns him that many others have said the same thing before him. After a few days, Alan is subjected to even more attacks. The women that surround him are still fighting. Disgraced husbands strive to find him. Any attempt at hiding is useless, and even sanctuary backfires. Finally, he realizes that he only has one choice. Alan infiltrates Leigh so much she is alone. He surprises her just as she steps out of the shower and guilt trips her one more time. But she manages to fool him for a brief period, allowing her to escape. It was pointless, as Alan grabbed her and begged her to believe he didn't want to kill her. He stated that all he ever desired was for her to love him. Before stabbing her in the heart, Alan expresses his love for her one last time. Leigh, on the other hand, claims that she had never known until that point that Alan had never truly loved her. When the police arrived, he did not fight back, and he was sentenced to 7 years in a minimum security rehabilitation facility. He was determined in his 7th year to no longer be a risk to society. He'd grown up to see that Leigh was correct over time. He said that he had just been in love with the concept of love and had never actually been in love. As he's led out of the institution, he recalls Delilah's warning about the spell's potency growing stronger over time. He steps out of the building and finds hundreds of women waiting. Alan then understands that it was never a curse. It was never something to be frightened of or fight against. For the first time in his life, he understood what it meant to be loved, as swarms of outraged ladies snatched and shred him into gory pieces. It felt incredible.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.